Greetings, fellow seekers of truth, wisdom, and light. This is Reverend Eliot, your friendly neighborhood esoteric practitioner, back at last. Yes, I am here live tonight in July, the 5th of July. And I think the last time I said I'll see you next week was like April. But I'm back. I was hideously sick for months. There was an outbreak of flu here in New York City. I checked with the Department of Health, and I saw the chart, and I noticed that just about the point where the flu went away is when I got it. And see, always a contrarian, never going with the crowd, and I got it, and it knocked me out for like 3 months, and then it was replaced by an upper respiratory infection, and man, that it was unbelievable. But I'm here. I had a flu last year in March, and I had a flu this year in March, and this one was pretty bad. The thing is that it didn't last as long as it seems, because what happened was that it took my voice away, so I couldn't do it. It's very hard to do a show on radio with sign language, so I couldn't do it. So that's why I took the time off. I didn't think it would be worth wasting your time just hearing me scratching and croaking, and I sounded like Marlon Brando in the hospital scenes in The Godfather. You know, it was just really I was really gone there. But it's back. I had pneumonia some years back, and that took away my voice for 6-7 months. So we lucked out. It didn't take me that long. But I'm here, and I'm looking forward to doing the show because I don't remember what I do. See, there's something with tarot cards, I believe. Isn't that it? Yeah, so here they are. I'm shuffling them up. Well, the world seems to have changed a little bit since last we met, but in overall, the overall scheme of things, nothing much really changes. It's people still have the same concerns and that they've always had, and life goes on. And well, like I said, I'm back. I'm a little jittery because it's been quite a while, and I was, what's the word I'm looking for? Going crazy. I missed this. I really did. I've been doing this for a little over 10 years, so to not do it for 3-4 months just really put a crimp in my schedule. I didn't know what I was doing, but I'm back, and now it's summer. It's hot out. New York is very hot and smelly, but the thing about New York in the summer is it gets cold. It gets nice and chilly in the evenings. So although today the temperature was over 90 degrees, right now it's about 70, 71, 72 degrees, and that's pretty good. That's because we have cross ventilation here, and we can get away without air conditioning if we want to, which I prefer. We've got those things. We have those machines, but I don't like them. I don't like the way they feel. I think I would be. I know a lot of people moving to Florida. I wouldn't be able to handle that. My friends in Florida tell me that you need air conditioning 364 days a year. So I don't know if I could even do. I'd probably feel like a prune, left out in the cold here. But I have no problem with going with the flow with the seasons. When it's hot, I sweat. When it's cold, I shiver. And I think we'd be better off that way. We've kind of lost the rhythm of life. Everyone's talking about saving the planet. Well, of course, there's really no reason to be too scared about that. I mean, I know there's a lot of people trying to scare you, but the planet has all the time in the world. Don't worry about that. The worst that'll happen is that things will change and human beings will adapt to it, and then we'll be getting our vegetables from the Sahara Valley. That's what will happen if it gets really bad. But it's going to be fine. Everything's going to be okay. But we need to get into the rhythm, I believe, of the world, of nature. Everything pulses. Our pulse, our heartbeat, the way that our blood pressure works, it's tied to the tides in a sense, because the tides pulse in and out. In fact, what is blood if not we carrying the ocean around in our body? Because the first life forms that left the ocean had to take the ocean with them, and they took it in the form of blood. Very clever, weren't they? Whoever designed all this. It happened by accident, and that's even more amazing. But that is a philosophical discussion for another time. I'm not big on trying to change nature. I This is why I don't wear a toupee. I like to leave things the way they are naturally, as natural as possible. So, when it's nighttime, we kind of sit in the dark here. We have lights, but not that many. We don't keep everything brightly lit. We go with the flow, as I said, and I enjoy it. And I miss the days you don't see it in New York City because of all the lights. But I miss looking up in the sky and seeing the stars, and seeing in August, seeing the meteorites zooming around. And it's nature and the world. It's a beautiful thing. And when you're stuck lying in bed for 3 months, you start to think about all these things, about the rhythms of the world, the up and down, and here we are. So I'm glad to be back. I missed you all. A special thanks to all the folks out there who contacted me by text message and by email over the last few months to inquire as to the state of my health and to encourage me. Well, you did good, because I'm here, and you helped. You certainly made me feel better. I'm sitting here in the little studio, and let's see, I have my little truck. There it is, filled with Pez. There you go. We're just munching on the Pez right now. In fact, keeps my mouth from being a little too dry. But we've got the tarot cards here, and what I'd like to do now is just get right to the readings. How's that? It's been so long. I mean, it's been so long since I've done this that I say, let's just jump into it. I didn't even do any private readings. I did maybe 2 private readings since the end of February, because again, I do a lot of that over the phone and Skype. And if you can't hear me, what's the point? So why don't we just ring our bell 3 times to declare sacred space and get into the readings. Okay. Now, I'm all set, but what I need is for a caller to call, is somebody to call. So I'm gonna just vamp a little bit until we get somebody on the line. One of the things I wanted to talk about, because I did a lot of listening to news and news on radio and television, I've noticed a pretty horrible trend in communication, which is, I don't know where it started from, but it's news people stopping in the middle of a story and saying, and guess what? Now, I'm in the tarot business here, so I do look into guess what, but I don't know why they do that. Why do they stop in the middle of a story and say, and guess what? Like I picture this, if I go out to get some groceries and I come back and I say to my wife, hey, you know something? I met this really interesting woman at the store, and guess what? That would be the last thing I ever say. Nobody wants to hear that. She would know what to do. So no, don't. I wish they would just stop that. We're not 4 years old. I don't need the president saying to me, and guess what? And I don't need news people saying, and guess what? I just tell me, whatever it is, I can handle it. I assure you, I can handle it. Well, we're all set now. We've had our bell, that one, right? 3 times to declare sacred space. And Shobha in Madison. Boy, Shobha, did I mess your name up, didn't I? Shobha.
Yes, you did. That's okay.
I'm very sorry about that. I as someone whose name used to get messed up all the time, I feel very guilty every time I do that. So how's Madison, Wisconsin tonight?
Oh, pretty good.
Excellent. Did you have a good 4th?
Yes, it was quiet. That's okay.
Beautiful. What can I look at for you tonight?
My work.
Okay. What would you like to know?
Well, I don't know. Tell me what comes up for work.
Fair enough. Let's see.
My current job or future job or whatever.
Well, I've got an interesting card here. First is the 3 of Coins. The 3 of Coins is about completing a job, doing a job. Sometimes it means a project, a temporary project, or a temporary work, but it means doing something and completing it. Have you done something recently that you completed in terms of your career and work?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, well, you may get an assignment then of some sort, or something new to do. And it won't be a full-time thing, but it's something that you will do very well at, and you'll succeed, and that will lead you to other things.
Okay.
Now, the Queen of Rods is here, and that's good. The Queen is the person who's in control, the rods are about work and career, so that's good. And the Page of Rods here, this is telling me, yeah, these cards coming after the Three of Coins is telling me that you may get like a temporary job, a temp position of some sort if you're looking for something like that, but it's going to lead to something more permanent. That's very clear in these cards with the Page of Rods and the Queen of Rods. And then the next card is the World, which is assured success. The Five of Coins. Have you been having financial difficulties lately?
Well, not terribly, but it can always get better.
Okay, but it was something that's concerning you.
Yes.
Okay, well, because that's underneath all of this, but it's just like the base of it. That's followed by the Six of Rods, though. So you've got the Five of Coins, which is like concern over money problems, and then the Six of Rods. Rods again are about work and career. That's a card of triumph and success, which is indicated in the Three of Coins also. So I think you're headed for a period where you're going to find a new job that is going to be maybe a temporary position, but you'll do so well at it that it'll lead to other things.
It sounds good.
And let me tell you this is going to be very good, because there's two cards here that I want to make very clear that you hear, because it's important. One is the Ten of Swords, and the Ten of Swords, although it's a nasty looking card, it means that the worst is over. You've been through some rough times and the worst is over. The next card is the Nine of Cups, and that is a card of enjoyment and fulfillment and happiness and luxury. The person in that card knows how to live and enjoys it. So I think that the worries and the troubles are coming to an end, and you're entering a period that's going to be very good for you. And it'll all be heralded by an offer for some work to do on a temporary project that you will make the most out of. Okay?
Sounds very promising. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. It looks very, very good, and I'm happy to see that. Oh, here's one just with the Six of Coins. It confirms that there's money coming your way. So there you go.
Mm-hmm. All right. Sounds perfect. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Bye-bye now. Sorry about mangling your name. I didn't mean to do that. Bye-bye now. And let's shuffle up the cards again. Well, you're listening to Reverend Eliot's Magical Window, the show that comes on 3 times a year, apparently. And I should be back next week. There shouldn't be a problem there. You wouldn't believe how bad I sounded. I still feel like I'm a little bit raspy in my throat, but that's going away. Health and healing was on my mind, and coincidentally, I wasn't completely inert. Like I said, for the last month or so, I was feeling better, but I couldn't speak. Wow, was that frustrating. I mean, unless you identify as Harpo Marx, that's and of course Harpocrates is the deity of silence. Look up Harpocrates sometimes. Just one of those coincidences that Harpocrates and Harpo get together there. But there is a project I was working on, and it's here. It's ready. It's done. And it's a book about psychic healing from the 1940s, long out of print. And it's a marvelous book by one of the great occult writers. Unfortunately, we don't really know him or her. Some people think it's a female. Others think it's a male. He or she wrote under a bunch of different names, like Louis de Clermont. That's another name, but there's no way of knowing. I do know I did my research, and there was no copyright on it anymore, so I figured this is time for the world to see this again. If you go to magic-works.com, this book is not available yet at Amazon. If you go to Mojo Academy No, that you can see it there too. But the easiest way is magic-works.com. Mojo Academy is the publishing arm. But go to my Magic website, magic-works.com. And right there at the top of that page, you'll see this just in, and there's a little notice for this book, and it's got a long title, but it's psychic healing is the germane part, and it's you can get it now before Amazon has it, right from the printing plant for a 15% discount. You just use the checkout code WELCOME15. All the instructions are right there. So please take a look at that. Health has been on my mind because I was deteriorating, and I'm back now. I have a few medical checkups to go. You know, at my advanced age, I can't just simply brush this off like I did back in the Hoover administration. But if you could, if you're interested in the art of psychic healing and you would like to read a long lost book on that topic, it's back. And of course, it's selling already, which is marvelous. That's so heartwarming to see that. You can find that at magic-works.com, right at the top of the homepage. And it's a nice little announcement, and you just click on that, and that'll take you right to the printing plant. And you can get it at 15% off. And when it gets to Amazon.com, I'll have a link to that too. But at Amazon, it'll cost more. And that's just because they like to participate financially in the sales. You get what I'm saying. Cut out the middleman. Go right to the printing plant. And then you can get things for less. Bernadette in Glen Burnie, Maryland is next. Hi, you're on with Reverend Eliot. Hi, how are you?
Hi, Reverend Eliot.
Hi, how are you tonight?
How are you?
Well, I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to be here. You know, I started to lose all sense of time because my week revolves around doing the show, and like I said, I was out in March, and then around middle of April or so, I came back for one show, and then nature tapped me on the shoulder and bow right in the face he hit me. So that was it. So I'm back now. So how are you, Bernadette?
Welcome back. I'm doing pretty good. I had a question for you. Been having a lot of transitions and changes in my life here, especially in the past 6 months. And I filed for divorce back in January, and I've been torn on what path to take with that. Like I don't know if I should continue with my husband on our marriage together, if we're going to be back together. And you're bringing up health. That's another good one. I've had questions. Been having some health things going on. So I just didn't know what you might pick up on.
Well, usually when people ask me a question about a relationship like that, they know what the answer is that they want. So the best I can do, because I wouldn't let the cards tell you what to do, but you could look at, if I follow this path, what will it look like in my life is one way to do it. But generally, I mean, you already filed for divorce, you said.
Yes.
And so you obviously have qualms about this whole marriage, you know, so what can I tell you? The card I have here is the tower is struck by lightning, and that is about something that is shattered and coming apart. So that's perfectly apt here. This is not necessarily a bad thing in life. I was just I was reading something about divorce today, and they constantly do it from the angle of how sad that is, but it can be quite liberating if you're in a really bad situation. So I don't like it when people treat it as, oh, that's terrible, because it could be the best thing you could do. I don't know.
Right.
But this is showing me that it's inevitable. I mean, that this has happened. Something has happened already that has shattered your faith, correct?
Right.
And see, the next card I have is the 8 of Cups and the 6 of Swords. Now, these are both cards about people leaving where they are and heading to where they want to be.
Okay.
Now, again, that you don't have to take that literally as like moving out, you see, because it's telling me that you're going to find the solution you want. You're going to get you're going to get to where you get what it is that you want. And that could be the divorce or not, you see. But chances are you know that you did all this for a reason, and a damn good one, because it's not a move to be taken lightly at all.
Right.
And it's difficult.
I moved out with the kids. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So the Two of Coins this is a card that isn't going to help you at all. Okay, it's not going to hurt you, but it isn't going to help you. Okay, you're not going to hear anything that you don't know when I tell you what the Two of Coins is. It's about juggling and balancing a situation to try to figure out what to do. Sometimes it means it in terms of money, like getting credit or something, but also on a larger level, it's about trying to balance competing interests and see which way you want to go. And that's where you are. You don't know yet, and that's a good thing, because because you're not being dogmatic about it. You're taking this extremely seriously. That's what I mean.
Yes.
Seriously enough that you're calling a complete stranger and talking about it. You see, that's one of that's true. I mean, this is the thing that's important, is that is people asking. Now, I need to ask you one question here, because this is a card that comes up when people talk about divorces quite frequently. It's the Five of Swords. And that is about somebody who was not being true to you, somebody who was being manipulative, somebody who was lying. Fives are not good in tarot. Fives are bad. They're heavy duty. They hurt. So you were not being treated properly, according to this. And is that how you feel?
I would feel that way. I feel like during our marriage, I was dealing with gambling addiction, and he was dealing with drug addiction. So we both kind of brought that, not being truthful, being manipulative. And that was kind of what our marriage was based on. And I'm in a different place from that.
Yeah, See, because the reason that I brought that card up is that sometimes people they feel that they're being treated badly, and this card is saying, yes, you were. Now, after the next card, this is good. Okay, this is good.
Okay.
Ace of Cups. This means you're moving on a pathway to lead you to the Ace of Cups. The Ace of Cups are about the heart and emotions, and the aces are about new beginnings. Now, didn't you tell me that you're going through new beginnings, right?
I am, yes.
And this is telling me that you're about to enter a very good time for you emotionally, a new beginning emotionally, and that's coming for you. That you're putting yourself on that path. So again, what I'm saying, and I have the Ace of Swords here. I'll get to that one in a moment. Two aces means you're definitely in a period of life where you're changing and growing. I don't want to. I'm not saying that you're what to do to get there, but what you're doing will get you there. You're going to make the right choices for yourself. Whatever your choices are, you're going to make the right choices. The Ace of Swords is about a new way of thinking and a new way of seeing the world. And you feel that, don't you?
I do. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's good. It's liberating. And just keep that in mind, because the two cards I told you about before, the Six of Swords primarily, is about moving yourself from where you are to where you want to be.
Okay. Because
the swords can mean two things. The swords can mean conflict and struggle, depending on the context. And in this case, it refers to mental activity and thoughts.
Okay.
And you're using your mind, you're using your willpower, you're using your abilities to get from where you are to where you want to be. And according to these cards, you are going to get there. You are going to have a period of emotional fulfillment and happiness, and thinking, just your whole way of thinking is going to be opened up and different. Now, the Eight of Rods tells me that you're in that, and it's coming to its conclusion soon. The Eight of Rods tells me that you're going to know very soon exactly what to do. Okay?
Okay.
You're not going to be left up in the air about this.
Okay, I've definitely been in my head struggling with what to do.
Yes, because that's the Eight of Swords, which I just got as you said that. Eight of Swords is a person who feels restricted, doesn't know which way to go. Now, you see, notice the swords are here. A lot of these swords, That's because you're thinking a lot. You probably think you're overthinking. You think you're thinking too much, right? But what's interesting to me is that you got the cups, which is the heart, and you got the sword, which is the mind. And they're both aces. That's telling me that your heart and your mind are coming into alignment. But you feel that, don't you?
Yes.
And that's not, now a lot of people may think, I wish that could happen to me, but let me tell you something. It doesn't feel as good as you might think, because getting there, when you're there, it's good, but getting there can be torture. That you, but your heart and your mind are coming, and there are cards for that, by the way. If you were going to have difficulty doing that, I have cards here that I could see that would show that. But you didn't get any of that. So I don't see any speed bumps here. I see that what you're going through now is that the path you're on now is going to lead to the right conclusion for you. And that conclusion is going to lead to an emotional rebirth and a mental rebirth.
Okay.
And it's going to be really good. And the final outcome card I have here is the Four of Rods, which in its purest form is a happy home and happiness and joy.
Oh, nice. That's the goal.
So you're up to your ears in positive cards here, but getting there can be painful.
Yes.
So if you want to stay in touch with me, my email is asktarot@earthlink.net, or you can contact me through Ask One Radio, or just Google Reverend Eliot Magical Window. There's all kinds of ways to contact me. And if you want a bit of an update on this after things are moving along, just don't hesitate to drop me a line, and I'll pull a few more cards for you on the house. How's that?
Thank you, Reverend Eliot. I appreciate that very much.
Well, because I know that it can be very difficult to open up about something so personal. And that you're doing work that is not easy, and I'm certainly not going to use that as a business opportunity. So if you want a few more cards, we could just consider that an extension of this free Ask One Radio reading. How's that? So be sure to drop me a line.
Thank you.
Anytime you want to. Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
It's my pleasure.
Have a great evening.
Thanks for calling. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye now. Oh boy, times of change can be difficult. Folks, the people who've been listening regularly for years and years and years, you might remember that long about the middle to the end of 2019, and these shows are all in the archive if you want to check up on my veracity here. I do not hold that against people who don't believe me, because I've had people who've known me for years think that I'm pulling some kind of trick when I do this with the cards. And I tell them, you've known me for 30, 40 years. You ever see me do card tricks? I can't do card tricks. I can barely shuffle a deck of cards without them falling apart. I can't even play solitaire without cheating. So how am I going to, I mean, by cheating, I mean by giving myself a little edge by doing the cards several times. I don't know how to do card tricks, you see. If I did, I wouldn't have to cheat in that sense. It's just like put a black card on a black card just for the sake of getting through the game. But I believe in verification. Always listen and trust, but verify. That's the foreign policy advice too. So I around the end of 2019, I started getting aces in almost every reading I did for people on the air here. And aces are new beginnings. And I said, I don't know what's coming, but something is coming in the year 2020 that's going to shake up everything. And we're all going to be essentially having new beginnings. And that was, of course, that virus. And the cards showed that to me, but, I didn't know what it was. And that's how the cards work. We can see what's coming, but we can't see what it is sometimes. I just knew that you can't get cards like that for everybody. And it was almost a running joke. And no, I wasn't rigging the cards. Look, if I could rig the cards to have aces come out anytime I wanted to, you wouldn't see me for heel dust. I'd be in Atlantic City or Vegas. But I can't do it. I'm just a simple little humble card reader. And yet in 2019, in the second half of 2019, I was seeing cards of new beginnings coming. Now in this reading I just did, the caller said that she's been in a time of new beginnings, and there was the Ace of Cups and the Ace of Swords. Marvelous stuff. That's what the cards do. That's they don't let you down, but you got to listen. And sometimes they don't say what we want to hear, but I think most of the time when people ask a question, they really know what it is they want to hear. Tabitha in Sevierville, Tennessee is next. You're on with Reverend Eliot.
Hello,
Tabitha, are you with? Oh, hi. How are you, Tabitha?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. What can I do for you tonight? What can I look at?
I just wanted to know maybe a future reading. Like, is there a house in the cards for me somewhere?
Yes.
Job. I enjoy my job. I love my job, but it is pretty stressful at times, and I just want to make sure I'm on the right path.
Did you say, is there a house for you?
Yes.
Because I got the same, I shuffled the cards up, but this is the card that I ended the last reading with. It came up again, the Four of Rods, and that refers to a happy home. That's why I said yes, so unreservedly. Yes, there's that card relate. You asked if there's a house coming, and well, you don't want a house coming. That might indicate a tornado. But you said there is a happy home in your future. Absolutely. Now, do you want to look at work and see what's going on there?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay. Well, let's see now. I'll shuffle them up a bit. Well, I'm seeing. I had this card earlier, the Three of Coins. That's about doing a job well, and that leads to a project is going to be completed, and that leads to something else. It's a very specific thing. But the Nine of Rods is here. The Nine of Rods is about a person who's in a kind of a tough situation where things can be difficult, but the person is very experienced and can handle it. It's about being able to brush away obstacles. There's people who are putting obstacles in your path at work, right?
Oh, yeah, always.
Well, but this is showing me that you can handle it. You may not like handling it, but it's showing me that you can handle it. And here's another card of rods, which I had earlier, too, the Six of Rods. That's a card of success and triumph. So I think you're going to do well with that. That's followed by the Sun, which is guaranteed happiness and health and growth. And it's nice. Now, you're overworking yourself. Do you get that feeling?
Yes, I do. But it's more of like, I can't help it. It's more of a not enough.
Well, the card I have is the Ten of Rods, and that is about overburdening yourself. So at least you're aware of it. So you know you can pull back at time if you need to. I'm seeing that you're in a stressful environment, but I've also got the Ace of Rods here, which is about a new job. Are you looking for something new?
I'm not, at this moment, and it's more of like I was not sure if I wanted like a whole new area, like a whole new beginning. And
well, the Ace of Rods is about something new in work, and so I wouldn't be surprised if a new job offer becomes clear to you. Oh, you're the High Priestess card I have here. You're a very spiritual, intuitive person, aren't you?
No, I don't know per se. Like I would like to think so, maybe. I feel like my job is kind of healing in ways, but.
Well, the cards are telling me that you are an intuitive person, so I'll go with that. But yeah, I do see something new coming your way, and it's coming soon.
Yeah.
And it's going to lead to more money.
Good.
See, what I've got here is the Wheel of Fortune. That means the situation that you're in now is going to change. Now, of course, people like to hear that, and then they immediately say, wait, change for the better or what, right? But the next card is the Six of Coins, and that's a card where somebody's handing you money. So it's going to change in a way that's financially more rewarding for you. So keep an eye out for an opportunity. It doesn't necessarily mean a job somewhere else. It could be something opening up where you are, or a new project. That was the 3 of coins, which I had earlier for someone else. There could be a project coming along within your work now, a temporary project that needs to be done, and you'll do it, and you'll do it well, and you'll be rewarded for that. So
well, that sounds great. That's kind of what I need.
Well, I'm getting more. Look at the page of coins again. I'm getting money cards like you wouldn't believe here. So I think that there's something coming to you in terms of money, and related to work, theoretically. I mean, this is really good. Just the thing is, you're surrounded by people, and there are people who don't have your best interest at heart. See, that's here again with the 7 of Swords, but you know that, so you're dealing with it. That was the 9 of Rods. You're able to deal with it. The person in the 9 of Rods, traditionally, the person shown in that card has a bandage on her head, meaning you've been through the battles of life a bit, and then you came out okay, and you can handle these things. So you're prepared for what's coming. I think you'll do quite well, but keep an eye out for that opportunity, either for a new job or a new project opening up within the job that you've got. Okay, here it is again, the 3 of coins. So this is, it's almost a certainty that there's going to be an opportunity for you to take hold of a project there and see it through from the beginning to the middle to the end. That's the 3. The beginning to the middle to the end, and you will not only be recognized for what you did, but it'll lead to other work, and it'll be very fulfilling for you. There's the King of Coins again. Anytime I see something relating to work for you, I get a card with money in it. So you're gonna be okay. You have a lot of imagination. See, that's the 7 of Cups. You can see things. You can focus your imagination where you want to, or you can let it go. You can let it run. So that's good. Your imagination is your strength.
Good. Maybe I'll just manifest the good stuff, manifest what I need.
Well, you'd be surprised how many people do that. I remember one time going to visit some in-laws, and a cousin, one of my wife's cousins, was there. And where we were going, there was a person who was considered kind of unstable. And this cousin kept saying in the car all the way out there, said, "She's going to hit me. That woman is going to hit me. That woman is going to hit me." It's okay. Just take a deep breath. Well, we got there, and it wasn't very long before that woman went right up to her and hit her. So she was right. She manifested that. Because she kept saying, "I know she's going to hit me. I know she's going to hit me." And there was no basis for that, really, other than fear. And as soon as the little party got going, the woman came over and pow, hit her. So, because this person was very intuitive and could sense it. And so, yeah, we really do manifest things. But the joke to me is that somebody did that and called it The Secret. There's nothing secret about it. I mean, people, you can't get something if you don't picture yourself having it. I remember in the late 1960s, people who were considered successful, meaning they got what they wanted, which is, we can talk about success for hours. The one thing they had in common was that they all saw themselves having it. And there you go. I met a woman. You want to hear a story about manifestation? I met a woman. Her first day in New York in the 1980s, about 1982 or so. Her very first day in New York, I met this woman, and she was telling me all about what she's going to do, that she's going to have a TV show, and she's going to be a big TV star. And her name was Brett Butler. And she was pretty big for a while, She's hit a few hard times lately, but I always remember that I met her on her first day in New York, and she said, "That's what I'm going to do." And she was big as a comic, and then as a guest star, and then Grace Under Fire was written just for her. And but I'll never forget it. I mean, she just I literally met her about an hour or so after she got off the bus. And she was telling me, I'm going to be famous and I'm going to be a star. And she did it.
Wow.
She did it. Now, sometimes,
awesome.
when we get what we want, we've got to accept what comes with that. There are a lot of people learning that now, that maybe when you get what you want, it isn't what you needed. But what can I tell you? Sometimes the worst thing to happen is not getting what you want. Sometimes the worst thing is getting what you want. But I leave that. I wouldn't count her out. Let me put it that way, because this was a woman of incredible will and able to manifest. I don't think I've ever mentioned that to people, that I met her within an hour after she came to New York.
Wow.
And we were sitting there talking, and there it was. And of course, when somebody says things like that, you remember it. And of course I remembered it. It wasn't long before she started climbing the ladder. So yeah, you keep thinking about what it is you want and seeing it and feeling it and grabbing it, and you'll get it. I'm going to pull one more card for you. I'm going to shuffle it up and take out one more card and see what that gives us. The World. That is the card of assured success. So there you go, right? I love it. Oh, boy. Keep in touch. Maybe you can let me know how things are working out, okay?
Yeah, thank you so much.
My pleasure. I hope to hear from you again sometime. And then I can tell people that I spoke to you one day, and they'll know who you are.
I know, right?
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Tabitha. Bye-bye now.
Thank you. Bye.
And we'll shuffle it up. Geez, we're coming around to the end here. You're listening to Reverend Eliot's Magical Window, the quarterly report. Yeah, there's it's so good to be back. It's good to be back. And I knew a guy who was a doctor. His name was Dr. Lowy, and he delivered me, not UPS. And he told me, he was a very old man at the time, and he said that he was always nervous delivering a baby. And the first thing he would do was count the fingers and the toes, just to be sure everything was okay. And card readers, we go through a similar thing, because there's always that fear that we're going to have to deliver bad news. But as you see, it's almost like what Shakespeare said, there's no good or bad, but thinking makes it so. There was only one time in the 10 odd years, very odd years, I might add, of doing this show, that I saw something in the cards that I didn't want to talk about in public. And I had the person contact me off the air, and we discussed it privately. But it wasn't bad news. It was just intensely personal. And I didn't think she'd want me to go into that in public. But doing these readings, there's always a thing in the back of the mind where you kind of hope it turns out well for people. And it generally does. Readings generally turn out well because, there aren't that many disasters in life. People generally tend to come out okay, even under adversity. So it's nice to see how it works. And you have a lot of courage calling up and talking about things in front of millions of people with a total stranger. And you don't get a much stranger than me, I think. That's, man, if I ever write my autobiography, that and if it was allowed to go on sale, I would definitely you'd see the weirdness of life. Gina in Mount Joy, Pennsylvania is next. Hi, Gina. You're on with Reverend Eliot.
Hello.
Hi. How are you, Gina?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Good. What can I look at for you tonight?
Okay. I would just say that these past few years, just about anything you could go through, I've been going through. It's just like in all areas of my life, like the whole world has been turned upside down, and I'm finding
let me tell
my
you,
way again. And
the first card I got here is the tower struck by lightning. I had that earlier for somebody, and that is, you just described that card. That is a sudden, abrupt change that turns everything upside down. Yeah, you've been, if you hadn't told me, I would have asked you if you've been through a period like that. So yeah. That takes a lot of work. That's difficult times. Um, I've got a card here, the Four of Swords, which tells me that things have been relatively calm lately. Is that so?
Calmer than they've been, these, prior in these past few years. Yes, right now
Yeah,
it's kind of,
yeah. The
that,
key word,
that almost scares me.
the key word is relatively. Yeah, but that's good. That's a card about taking a time out and kind of like resting in a way, and it's good. Um, I see that there's been sadness. I see there's been troubles, and mostly I see a card here of great sadness. Um, but I do see you working through that. I mean, here's the Magician card, for instance. This is a card of somebody who can take spiritual power from above and use it here on earth. The Justice card is here. You have been dealt a blow. You've been treated unjustly, and it will be resolved. You will have justice. You have been treated unjustly. Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay, because that's the card here. Regular listeners will know that that card rarely comes up. So you're coming out of a bad time here, but the key is coming out, right? Coming out of it. The Fool card is here. Now I want you to pay attention to that because there are times when things are going to look bad for you, and it can be very depressing. The Fool card represents the person who is the beloved of God. The person who gets the card of the Fool, if there's any negative cards in the reading, they're overturned by that card. This is a person with spiritual protection. Now, the Magician showed me that you have spiritual powers, but this is a card of spiritual protection, that you have great spiritual protection. So you're going through an ordeal, and we can only hope that it's for a purpose, right?
I hope so. Yes.
Well, you're bearing up well, and here's another one, the Six of Rods. The third time tonight I got that card. That means you're going to succeed. That's a card of not just success but triumph. You're going to succeed over all these obstacles. I see that here. But just remember, it can be extremely difficult. That's the problem. I mean, going through these kind of changes, it may be good. First of all, don't listen to anyone who says that whatever's happening to you is a blessing in disguise, because that is the kind of thing that just means you really got shafted. When somebody tells you that,
right.
A blessing in disguise.
Yes, very little comfort in that.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, you've been going through hell, and I see that in these cards, but I see you coming out of it. I see you coming out of it quite successfully. Remember the Fool card, please, because that is an important card. It rarely comes up in readings, and it is a card of great spiritual protection. And the Justice card, in case you are concerned that maybe you're not being right about this. If you think that maybe it's your imagination, let's say, no, this card is telling me that you have not been treated justly. And it's confirming that, and it tells me that you're going to get the justice that you are owed. I mean, what people say, life doesn't owe you anything. Sometimes it does. Now here's the Strength card is here. You've shown great strength during all of this. The Five of Rods is here. That's a story of the card of people. You look at that card, it shows people there beating each other with sticks. That's about adversity, but you come through it. The next card is Judgment. That's rebirth. That's coming back alive. So this is not going to keep you down. These are the Judgment card, and the card of the Justice card and the Judgment card. These are telling me that you're going to get what you've got coming to you, and it's good. Okay, that's the main thing. Keep that in mind. Don't get hopeless, because it may turn bad again, but it isn't going to last, the bad stuff, and it's on your way to very, very, very good stuff here. The Six of Rods especially, and the Fool, and the Justice card, and the Judgment card tell me that you're going to come out of this all right. But the main thing is, the first thing you said to me was about everything being upside down, and I got the tower struck by lightning. And you know what that feels like. It shows people being blasted off of the top of a tower by forces around them. So, that's what you described, and that's what's here. You're going to be okay. You're really going to be fine. I got the 9 of coins here. It tells me that you're going to be okay. You're going to have serenity. So just, if the road getting there is a little rough, just remember that the ending is going to be good. You're getting where you're going. Okay?
It's just hard. It's just hard to see that light at the end of the tunnel. It's like trying to bounce a ball that you left too much air out of. It does every...
Good description, yeah.
Goes flat.
Well, I have the 8 of rods here, and that tells me that your wait for the good times is not going to be very long at all. The 8 of rods means whatever's coming is coming soon. So just hang in there and remember those cards. Remember the strength card. AskOneRadio.com in a day or so. We'll have this show up in the archives, and you can't miss it. It's the only Reverend Eliot's Magical Window that's been up in the last 3 or 4 months, So you can listen again. You'll be the last call on the show. So you can probably speed through it if you download it and listen to this reading and take heart. Now, if you can't figure out how to do that, if that's a problem, you drop me a line at asktarot@earthlink.net and I'll send it to you. Okay? Because I've got to get out of here. I have to get out of here in 3 minutes. So I got to wrap it up. But this is a good place to leave it. Here's the other one. The 10 of Swords is here. That means the worst is over. Okay, so you're getting close to the end of the bad times. Excellent. Keep that in mind, okay?
I sure will.
Beautiful. And if you need anything else, my email is asktarot@earthlink.net. It's one word, asktarot, okay?
Thank you so much. That gives me some hope of, there is light at the end of the tunnel.
There definitely is. These cards are excellent cards. They show a difficult trip, but a successful trip.
I feel they were very accurate.
Great. That's what counts. Thanks for calling. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
And that's it, folks. That's it. We've come to the end of the Reverend Eliot 2023 edition of Magical Window. No, I will be back next week. I will definitely be back next week. Now, remember, if you're interested in what I've been doing while I've been hibernating, because that book I was telling you about, which is about psychic healing, you can find that at magic-works.com, magick-works.com. I absolutely painstakingly restored. The book was in pretty good condition considering that it was from the 40s. But I did have to replace a couple of paragraphs, and it took me a while to find the proper typeface, but I did it, and it's there. And to all of you who have ordered books during this time, we did get them out to you, and I thank you for your patience. Sometimes it took a little longer than usual, but they got out, and we're trying to get things running and back to normal. And if all works according to plan, I will be here again at 11 Eastern, 10 Central, 9 Mountain, and 8 Pacific on the Ask One Radio Network to look through the tarot cards for you. Until then, you can go to magic-works.com, magic-works.com. My mouth's a little dry. You see, I have to pace myself. I have forgotten how to do it, didn't I? And we will, you got like 100 pages of magical stuff there. There's films there. There's things to read. There's recipes. There's all kinds of fun stuff. Take a look at magic-works.com. And the first thing that you'll see on the homepage is that new book about psychic healing, the new reissue of the book from the 1940s. I'd urge you to grab that, because we need that. We all could use some good old psychic healing now. So until next week, remember, time flies. It's up to you to be the navigator. Bye-bye now. See you next week.